Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Kent Tilley, and today I want to tell you a story about something I've been seeing over and over and over in my personal life, and it's just something that, is really important to me, and I want to share with you why and sort of my thought process that happened 2 days ago, and then what happened the next day to like sort of exemplify the thought that I had in my head and why this is so important. Um, so something that, I try and tell people that are non-comedian friends of mine is how regularly I see people in that community either getting sick or dying prematurely. It's like almost unprecedented. It's hard for me to even explain how often in a given year I see some young comedian, 30s, 40s, 50s pass away or actually get diagnosed with some sort of illness. And I know in all of these cases, they were generally struggling to get by in the first place. We had Kathleen on a few months ago. She was diagnosed with cancer, talked about how hard that was for her financially. Last week, Sean and I went with another comedian friend and a guy that runs a club in Winnipeg. We went to Denver to watch the Oiler game. Great trip, but the day that we got there, one of the comedians we were with got a call about his very best friend who had been in the hospital for the previous 3 days. The outlook was looking really bad. And so instead of golfing with us on Saturday, he had to spend time reaching out to all of his friends on Facebook and letting them know what the story was and helping set up a GoFundMe page for him because he was going to be financially struggling with his partner for a while over the recovery point of, say, 6 months. So they set up a GoFundMe page. Their goal was $19,000. Last I checked a couple days ago, that had reached out to $26,000, where this could have been covered through insurance, but most people never really want to talk about insurance. They don't reach out to us about this. And it got me to thinking, usually when we're talking about critical illness insurance to clients and potential clients, we're saying maybe 1 year's income or maybe something that leads people to say no because that's too expensive. When I got to thinking, even that amount of $25,000 is going to sort of take that heat off for at least 3 to 6 months where, you're not so stressed out because you have this. You don't need to reach out to family and friends. And one of the things that's sort of lucky for people in the comedy community is that generally, if they're kind of famous, like a lot of these people in the last little bit have been, then the GoFundMe actually generates a lot more money than somebody would that doesn't have a big network of family and friends online. It's got to be a really heart-wrenching story for it to get any traction and for them to get any money this way. And so I was thinking, like, why are we not talking to people about even getting the bare minimum of coverage because it's so inexpensive and it will cover you to allow for you to like sit there and hopefully at least give you that little buffer to get better. And I was thinking very strongly about this, and then the very next day, there's a huge post in like the online comedy community where one of our fellow performers had passed away in his like mid-50s. 53 or 54, stroke, passes away, brutal. So I just got to thinking, it wouldn't have been that much for us to help them get some coverage where this wouldn't have been a concern. And just so, for example, I just wanted to lay it out, even at the bare minimum of getting $25,000 worth of critical illness coverage would be helpful to anybody. So if you were 30 years old, you could get that for $13 a month as long as you get approved for standard rates. At 40, it would jump up to about $18 a month. This is for both men and women. And at the age of 50, $25,000 worth of that coverage for a man would be about $35 a month, a case of beer basically. And for a woman, $31 a month. just a small cost to sort of protect against the unknown, because I know as much as anybody that I see this all the time. And it's just sort of heartbreaking to me that, it has to come to this where people are needing to reach out to family and friends for help. And I'm more than happy to also contribute in these cases because they do need the help. But that's one way that you can do it on your own, and it's something that I certainly recommend to anybody. So I just wanted to share that story with you. I know, insurance isn't like a big thing that people want to talk about, but we do feel really strongly about it here. So if you have questions about that, please reach out to us, k4financial.ca, and we'll happily talk to you about it. Okay.